Welcome, guys, to the Tyrone and Kingsley. Hey, I tell you what we do here, King. Every Thursday from 2 to 3, we strive to bring power, dignity, and class back to our communities. I say class, and I've been saying it ever since I've had this show. Some stuff is just repetitious behavior. Class is missing. Again, we said about dressing down. You dress down, you think down. You dress up, you think up. Again, King, I say, King, ain't there such thing called as, what do they call it when somebody use your phrases? You know, and I know you have to copyright some things when you want your stuff to be just you. They call it pirating or infringements.
Yeah, infringements.
Yeah. And Jane, that's what I'm hearing on the radio air and on the television. A lot of people are stealing what we're talking about.
Shut up.
What? Yeah, adultism, the word. What else you just said the other day? Mass incarceration. What we talking
Mass
about?
incarceration.
Mass incarceration. Everything we've been talking about again.
Talking about the curfew.
Everything we've been saying, exactly word for word, the way we've been saying things on this show.
Word for word.
Word for word. These people are on a bigger platform.
Remember last week when Tyrone said that the curfew, that adding those police officers to all those young kids is not going to go good. At some point during the summer, it's going to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
And tear gas is going to be lobbed left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, exact same thing.
I heard it on
exact same
Fox.
thing. Yeah.
Contributors use that talking point.
If it's a black town, who you think gonna be locked up? Black people.
Right.
Yeah, exactly word for word. Again, I say they have scouts out because we are what they call the bottom of the borough. Sometimes when you think of AM, that's the way they look at us.
Yeah.
So they send their scouts out because we actually the ones. Again, I had said this before. We are the ones that are really tied to these communities on the AM stations.
We boots on the ground.
We boots on the ground for real. We not up at Morgan right now. We not up at the upper joint talking from a platform that don't actually have experience of.
No.
See, that's what the AM stations bring. So they sending their scouts out. And they're trying to reword it, but they don't know how to reword it because they don't have that class that we have here. Stuff. So they don't have that. So when they say it a little hard. It sounds a little different. You know what I mean?
Different.
It is different.
Yeah, it hit
you know what I mean? PM Scott, I really want to get with this man, and I would really like to have him on here as a guest. And that's what I was talking to Kingsley. Kingsley said he was a member of the church.
No, I wasn't a member. I said I went to that town hall.
Okay, yeah, the town hall.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to have him try to get him out of here because, we're talking the same stuff. And Mr. Scott, we've been talking the same stuff. I ain't gonna say before
Smith.
PM Smith. We've been talking this stuff all along here on the Tyrone Hour. Accountability. These are black folks now saying this is what we want. Sheila Dixon was on yesterday. I said we are a news station. Sheila Dixon was on there. She had a good interview. I liked the interview. It was a great interview. And she said exactly what we said about Dr. Santelises. She said she needs to go. And she said again, she gave her kudos. We try that kudos thing about women.
Yes.
She gave her the kudos. She said she's a nice woman. She's a nice woman and everything, but the track record speaks for itself.
Yeah, she did a publicity stunt yesterday, the T-shirt of the year thing. You saw that?
Again?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. I believe if it was a black guy in there and all them unseated seats and they were getting money for him, I believe he would be under prosecution state right now. You heard what I just said? Because that was people still taking that money, King. When you got children and no children, you got the seats now and you're getting the money for it. But no kids in the seats.
Well, I think you titled the show today,
give me the
Meeting
title.
Expectations.
Meeting Expectations. That's the title of the show today.
So it don't sound like Dr. Santelises is
She's not meeting the expectations. I'm thankful for bringing that back up, King. I forgot to give the title up. Meeting the Expectations. That's what we talked about. The show is about today. Now, it's in all aspects. It's in all aspects. When you go to work, when you go out to, certain expectations you have to meet up to.
Well, yeah, there's always been a level of expectations that you should reach or obtain before you are rewarded.
Say that again?
Yeah, there should always be some level of expectations that you obtain
Yeah.
to be rewarded.
Yeah.
But this constant, everyone gets a trophy for participating
Yeah.
is becoming nauseating.
It is. It
And
really is.
the
It really is,
reason
King.
that these students aren't doing well under Dr. Sandalisa's reign is because she's not meeting their expectations,
Yeah.
and she's not expecting them to meet
There's
expectations.
no expectations, right? What do you
And
think
Carla,
about
just
it?
hold on for 1 second. I
Yeah.
just want to get this point out, and then I'm going to bring you on. At Dunbar Senior High School, it's come to my attention that they are passing students who are failing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have the proof.
Yeah.
I've shown it to Tyrone.
Yeah.
All F's first quarter, all F's second quarter.
Yeah.
Got an A in a midterm, which brought his cumulative average up to a C, all F's third quarter. So what was the expectation for fourth quarter? Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, what was the expectations?
There's
all
none.
F's for
There's none really.
for the
Let's
fourth
keep
quarter.
doing the same thing.
Yeah. So what bothered me is that they are allowing people to attend the prom and walk across the stage.
Yes, as though they met expectations. Go ahead, King.
And for me, that's a problem.
That's
I don't
right.
know about everybody
That's
else.
a problem. It
Because
should be a problem.
you're lowering standards. Everybody doesn't get a participation trophy, and in this case, he didn't even participate.
Yeah.
They didn't even participate.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, they've been rewarded. So now, you talk about a school to prison pipeline. Now you have this person that's graduating who has all F's that's going to be expected to perform in society because they're being told he met their expectations at school, and when he gets out and he can't fill out an application or he lies to obtain the job, and now he's held accountable for the position and he gets terminated, and now he's like, man, forget this, let me hit the streets. Okay, I'm sorry, we got a caller, I'm sorry. Caller?
Faye.
Yes, this is on Faye. Faye
How you doing, ma'am?
Listen, I'm still, good afternoon, listeners and participants. I am still in mystification with the mayor with this curfew to go in effect at the end of this month. The purpose is to keep the 14-year-olds off the street, but I reiterate once again, your gangbangers are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. So, now, in the event, how is the plan going to work and it be an effective purpose? If you've got 14-year-olds on the streets after whatever that curfew is to be implemented on the 30th, okay, so what do the officers do? Write them a ticket? Do that kids have to show identification stating that they're 14 or over?
Well,
and how are the parents notified?
Well,
Does the child get the physical ticket to take it home, which the parent may or may not ever receive?
Or pay.
Okay, so then the fact they've gotten a ticket, what kind of legal notification and accountability are the parents going to have? If you got a 14-year-old, let's say, I ain't thinking about that police, and tear it up a block away from where he got it from, how is the parent going to be notified? Okay, that same kid gets ticketed for the next couple weekends and still not taking it home. What kind of notification procedure has that mayor put in place for notification of the head of households that these kids are out there being violated?
Well,
they're violating the law.
Well, first off, Faye, I think, like you said, they have no clue, Faye. They just winging it. Remember we talked about it last week? And we talked about last week that eventually I told you it's going to be tear gas and smoke down on Light Street and Charles Street, because they have lost total. To gain things back in order, Faye, it's going to become an ugly situation. These children are emboldening themselves to express themselves even at a detrimental cost now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, at some point, all those tickets you said and all that stuff like that, at some point you got to get took away to a room somewhere like they used to do.
That's right.
You get me?
That's right.
Go ahead, King. King want to chime in real fast, okay?
Ma'am, you are 100% correct. But here's the thing. The fact that you're asking these questions, and it behooves me. Did they ask those same questions? Because they seem like pretty common sense questions.
Yeah, common sense.
And that's what's missing. The common sense, all this intellect, all these PhDs.
Yes.
You know, all of this talk about this, that, and the third. Just some regular common sense. You have no plan of implementation. You have a police force that's stretched thin.
And
with no respect on the streets. With no respect on the streets whatsoever. And you expecting them to pull up, like you say, from 14-year-olds when they got 15-year-old influencers telling them, man, tell them to kick rocks. That ain't what I want to say, but I'm on the radio.
Go ahead on, Faye.
And this is okay. So now, what's his plan for the holding cells for these young people? Are you going to open up your rec?
I don't even think you thought about that.
Hold up now. They do have a curfew spot where they used to take them at years ago over at the educational spot on North Avenue.
We talk about
that.
He has no plan.
I don't know about, but I'm saying that used to be a holding spot for the curfew.
My question to the mayor, who had, and I hope someone knows him is listening, my question is to the mayor who's displaying that he has a degree in stupidology. You don't want to reveal to the media so the public will be aware of what is going on the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a Jack in the Box thing. You wind it up and then pop goes the weasel. You understand? Because he's going to generate a whole generation of youngsters of rebelling, which most of them already are, with oppositional behavior.
Oppositional behavior. Good call. I like that.
So what happens to that? What's your plan after that? Is this kid a parent included, first and foremost? Is this a kid and parent going to be court-ordered to attend parenting classes? Mandatory.
Okay.
And if the parent doesn't attend, that's called accountability, then they need to start paying fines and have only 30 days.
Hold up,
go into somebody's pockets, cost them because of a domino effect of your relatives, being your children, your grandchildren, your nephews, your nieces, so forth and so on. Okay,
King want to chime in on something.
You get these people attention.
Go ahead, King.
Faye, we got a text in from D.C. They say Aunt Faye knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So
okay. They know Aunt Faye.
Oh, she also said, she also said, I like Aunt Faye. So again, Vita, thank you for reaching out. Aaron, thank you for tuning in. Yes. And,
also let them know that Aunt Faye has a list of jobs for what? Ex-offenders.
That's right. Aunt Faye, I got a question at you. Aunt Faye, I got a question at you. Me and you are actually original Park Heisians.
That's right.
You get me? You remember how Park Heights used to look beautiful at one time?
Yes.
When I was driving the other day and through the countryside and over East Baltimore, I said, damn, it looks beautiful over here. It looks beautiful over here. Unfair, our neighborhood and our community is horrible.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Ugly
yes,
it
is. Yeah. And he comes from the Park Heights. The one with the degree in stupid.
I'm glad you called him first because we can relate.
Where he came from, he needs to be impeached. I'm going to say it every time I call in. He needs to be impeached.
I'm glad you called him first,
Westmore needs to put the National Guard in the city. Effective May 30th.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm glad you called in.
Westmore is a little distracted right now because he has to help Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with their campaign.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Aunt Faye. I'm about to let you go,
You guys.
All right, thank you.
Great show. Great show.
Thank you, King. Again, I say, these are people with their boots in the hood, in the neighborhoods, however we want to call it, in black communities. We are not talking to people up at Morgan. See, again, I say, they might have came from there, but they ain't been there since.
They haven't been there since.
They talking from a distance.
They talking from the
every day when we leave here, King, where we have to go at? In these areas.
In the trenches.
And survive.
In the trenches.
And not only are we surviving, we trying to teach other people.
Yeah, we're thriving.
How to shake this wool and this stuff off your eyes, man. Again, King, I said I wanted to start a non-profit program. What did I say I wanted to do? What I said the name was?
The church?
Not the church. I said the other day I would love to start a non-profit program. And I said the program would be named You Got to Do Something.
You got to do something.
You got to do something. And I'm just being honest, that would be the most simplest non-profit, and that would be the name that I want. Because you cannot just walk around and not do nothing
And
in
not do
society
nothing.
and expect something to happen.
Yes.
I had to figure that out a long way. You know what I mean? But after I got sent back and forth to prison, I had to realize, hey man, the stuff you ain't doing is not conducive to society.
Well, it's not conducive to your growth.
It's not conducive to your growth. Hey man, you're going back to jail again if you don't stop.
You're going
this.
back to jail again if you don't stop this.
You get me? If you don't stop this, so.
But you see what you're talking about, Ty?
Yeah, go ahead, King.
You're talking about meeting the expectations.
Yes.
Even when you set your own expectations for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing here.
Yeah.
There's no expectations. You just heard our Faye talking about the mayor and him not proposing his plans. That's because they already think that the people or the citizens that are in Baltimore are stupid.
But you know what get me though? You know he was literally at the walk for the young man that got killed at 1590 a.m. We sent our condolences out to all people who were murdered and slain, the families and everything. But I'm talking about the young man down in the T-Mobile store, King.
Yeah.
You know, he was out there with them. You know, he did the walk with them. They did a walk the other day and everything. But as they were saying, what everybody else is saying, something has to be done. I mean, he's standing in the back, shaking his head. Dog, I know you hearing this every day in Baltimore City. Man, hey, look,
Cognitive dissonance.
you got something. Everybody is saying, look, man, when they say something has to be done, they mean arresting people. And these are black folk.
Well,
They don't mean nothing. They saying this has to come to a
listen,
head.
the
Go ahead,
mayor,
King.
the mayor is practicing cognitive dissonance.
Go ahead, King.
He doesn't care. Okay, he sees what's going on. He comes from Park Heights. He saw it as a little kid.
Man, it's
He
downtrodden,
accept-
King. Go ahead, King.
the very path that he took to get to where he's at, he's not even telling the people and the students at Mervo to take that path. He's telling them to take a different path. This whole nobody left behind.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a
Yeah.
trophy mess. Well, he didn't get to be the mayor.
You
And he
know-
didn't get to ascend to that position. He didn't get to City Hall by participation
Do you
trophy.
know some of them are actually touting not to go to college?
He had a
You heard what I just said, right?
Yeah, but he had
Nowadays, these folks who are in office, some of them are touting, you don't need to have an education to do
Well,
these
how
jobs.
else are you going to stay in
Well,
power?
why would you say that and you went and got an education?
Well, how is she going to stay in power unless
Wow.
you keep the people underneath you
King.
in a lesser capacity than you?
King.
If mentally you can't joust with me,
Yeah.
how are you going to lead me? See, this is what they're doing. They're leading us, but they can't lead us because they can't lead themselves. Again, look at Dr.
good call.
Sandalisas and look at how she's running that school system.
Yes.
It is an atrocity.
An atrocity.
Look at
It is.
how
It's an
Brandon
atrocity.
Scott is running this city. He's the mayor. It's an atrocity. Look at what Westmore is starting to do to Maryland. Okay, it is beginning to be an atrocity.
They can't
and for
even
whatever
city
reason,
workers.
nobody is opening their eyes and looking at that. And when I mean nobody, I'm talking about you voters, because I don't believe anything is going to change when
In Baltimore City. You're going to vote the same thing all over again.
Nothing is going to change.
You don't think so? You really
Nothing is
think it's going to change this time?
The way things are going, people are tired and they're going to get up.
No,
and
what
they're
I
gonna
think
vote.
is that
All of them need to go,
Let me
G.
stop.
Go ahead.
What I think is
You
that
gotta
black
yeah, go ahead.
people like to complain and argue, but when it comes down to formulating a plan to action to make things change, that's where they fall short. They'll talk you to death, but they'll never put a plan of action together to make things work. Carla, how you doing?
Hey, Ma.
Hey, how you doing?
Something on your mind? Something on your mind, Ma? Or you just want to chime in on what we were talking about? Go ahead on
I
in.
just want to say that there is a very, very difference between how black people, period, are treated in this world.
Go ahead.
And I see this, and I want to say this I say this because when I look at, and I spoke to you about this news,
Mm-hmm.
the crisis at the border.
Yeah.
When I look at the crisis at the border,
Mm-hmm.
and I get so upset with our country and our leaders because nobody nobody has said anything about how they treated the Haitians when they tried to come over here.
I remember that's been on your mind for a long time, Ma. Go
It's
ahead.
been on my mind a long time because I'm watching blatant racism right before my eyes.
Yeah.
And that from Joe Biden.
They got tables of food set up for these immigrants that's coming here
Joe
now
Biden
that's
and
over
Kamala
in
Harris.
Texas and going to these other cities. These people are feeding them, clothing them, but when the Haitians came over here, they
Get 'em outta
had
here.
people
Put 'em on
on
a plane and flew 'em
horses
out.
They had horse
riding
riders.
around like
They
they
had
were
horsemen.
cattle,
Yeah.
rounding them up,
Yeah.
and they and sent them back in the blink of an eye. They sent them back,
Yep.
but we
Put 'em on
got
a plane.
all these
Yep. Sent them back
white-looking
immediately.
faces
You right.
that's coming to our country, and our own citizens are embracing some of these people,
Yes.
and all of these people that's coming over here
Yes.
are not good people.
Nope. You see another mass murder. Do you see that one, right?
No,
Yes.
You see the
But
one?
what I'm
yeah.
saying is that it's a thing in our country that there is something about our black faces that the white establishment has a problem with. And you're absolutely right. I heard a minister, Jimmy Swaggart, said that you don't have to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah, but yet he
And
went.
you know why
But
he
he
said that? Because he never went to college.
yeah.
He made it through
Yeah.
his ministry and
Yeah,
doing what
yeah.
he did to get his ministry to survive. And now he's telling young folk, you don't have to go to college.
Down. Yeah. Take unlifting the standards again, man. Lowering the standards again.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. No, you
And
should want to do that because
I blame our
yes.
churches also because we got to get out of this thing of going to church and keep going through the same protocol all the time. We need to have current events in the churches. We need to have somebody come in and teach our young people and even our older people what's really out here. How can we survive in this world if you know where most of the black people's money go?
Yeah.
Clothes.
Yeah.
Can you answer that question? I'm
To
asking you a
clothes.
question.
Took clothes, fun.
Cars,
Weed.
materialism.
It goes to the church also.
Oh, you're right.
Most the churches are full of black people's money.
Oh yes, for hundreds of years.
Yes.
For hundreds of years.
And what are they doing? What are they actually doing? Most of the ministers live in the suburbs somewhere.
Yeah.
Then they come into the inner city, and once they do what they got to do, they're out of the city.
They don't know nothing
until
about
the
the
next
city
week.
life. They don't know nothing about it. They're only living off of their past
children are going through. Oh, they might
plans.
hear it on the
They're living
news,
off their past
and
plans.
somebody might tell them.
Yeah.
And then, but what are you actually doing? What are you doing?
Yep, man. Hey, man, that's been on your mind for a long time, though, about those Haitians. You know, we talked about that.
Yes, because they are our people.
Yeah, but-
I'm looking at you mistreating
Ma.
our people that way like they were cattle.
Do you know why?
You got these
Give me 1
people
second.
coming here laying all up beside people's houses, all over the place in our states and our cities.
Do you know why, man?
And you're
Yeah.
setting out a buffet table for them.
Man, the reason why they are so against the Haitians. The Haitians were the first free blacks in this hemisphere.
Yeah, they defeated
They
Napoleon.
did and got rid of all those the French. The French ones, they killed them. They got rid of them.
The reason we own Louisiana,
Yes.
all that stuff going all the
And
way
the
up to
French-
Canada is because
And the French are
was
one of our
defeated.
#1 allies, man. And the French is so mad with Haiti, and we are still punishing. That's why we don't do no goods with them. They still down there struggling. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
They still in there struggling because the French is still upset with them. So you have to understand that, man.
But I understand that, and I know the history of that.
Yeah.
But let me say this to you also. When is the white and gonna own up.
Never.
So
Come
what
on, Ma.
you
Come on.
have
You
done-
listen to Ma. Kingsley got a comment, Ma. Give me 1 second.
This nation,
Yeah.
just like the debt ceiling now's in charge. They get our money every week, every 2 weeks, every month. However, the citizen get paid.
Yeah.
We pour into this system. So we're not taking the money saying, well, we're going to put it over here for defense. We're going to put it over here for the seniors. We're going to put it over here for the children. They make the decisions as to where our money goes.
Ma, let us chime in, Ma. Let us chime in. Kingsley got a comment. Let him chime in real fast. Go ahead, King.
Okay.
Okay. We had another text message come in. It says, Mom is right. Black churches are the right hand of white supremacy to keep us in check. The church ain't going to do anything to help the community preach mama.
Good call. Good call. Was that from your cousin or who's
People's in D.C.
People in D.C., good call, folks. So, thanks for listening, guys, to the Tyrone Hour, man. Because we here strive to bring shot treatment and awareness and accountability. Man, give me 1 second. Hold on. Can you give me the website real fast?
Sure. It's WFBR1590.weebly.com. We're also, you can find us on YouTube and Rumble at handle KAETHOUGHTS. That's K Thoughts at YouTube and Rumble. And on our podcast, you can find us at Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, and Anchor. And you can type in the Tyrone Hour for the podcast. If you go to YouTube or Rumble, it's K Thought. If you go to the podcast and you go to Spotify or those platforms, it is the Tyrone Hour.
Go ahead, man. Keep it brief for me, man, real fast. Go ahead.
And Kingsley, you know about Geno Jennings.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am.
I love Geno Jenkins have opened my eyes to
Thank
this
you, Ma.
situation of the church that have never been opened before.
Yes.
Geno Jenkins is telling the American people, blacks and mostly, get out of these churches.
Yes.
Get out of them.
Yes.
Because all you're being doing is raped. You're being pimped. You're setting these ministers up to live the best life, and your parishioners are sitting in the congregation suffering, some of them.
Got holes in their shoes.
You don't know it.
They got holes in their shoes, man.
If you got 1,000 membership, there's no way you know all those people. And if you say you do, you're telling a lie.
Thank you, man. King, you got something you want to speak on, man, real fast?
No, I just wanted to thank her for, bringing up Geno Jennings because, it's important. If you really want somebody that's telling you the truth and that's not going to sugarcoat it, there it is. Geno
That's right.
Jennings. Check it out.
And also, too, I'm a firm supporter of the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan is saying the exact same things. Hey, man, get up out of these, take these walls over your eyes. Man, go ahead real fast, man. I'm going to let you go. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not. The church has helped some people back in the day because
Yes.
there were honest people back in the
Yes.
day that actually believed in helping and doing for one another. But when times have changed and you look at the situation that I say this and I'll say it till I die when my eyes open up about the church also. I've been in the church most of my life, and there are some things that I was taught wrong. There are some things when I read the Bible I don't understand. That's why you need a preacher and you need a teacher.
Good
But
call.
nowadays they're taking the church's programs and they're doing all other things except actually teaching you the correct words.
And then I meet the expectations.
And this is another thing. Now they're putting, it's not just enough to get the offering and the tithe. They're
They want
putting
more.
cafeterias in the
Yeah.
church, so when the people come to church, they can buy coffee, donuts, a sandwich.
So again, man.
It's a
So
business.
again, I'm glad
So what is that
you
doing but adding to the
Yes.
money for the church?
again, man. All you did was show the blueprint. From the basis, man, that's what you just did. You showed the blueprint on how it transformed more and more into a business. Pretty soon they'll have a couple clothing stores inside them, huh? Ma, I'm gonna let you go here, Ma.
Okay, enjoy your day and wish your mother a happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Ma. Love you.
Okay, thank you.
Ma, hey, Ma. You still on here?
Yes.
Hey, but anyway, I just want to let you know, a lot of folks have been calling saying they really enjoy listening to you, man. And, you know, because, like King said before, we have never yet had a caller in here contest what you said, male or female. So, most likely we saying something that makes sense, King.
Of course.
I say, King, you know, man, we listen to Mommy, we listen to Arfay. Caller Charles gave us the best thing we ever say, the dumping ground
For bad
for
ideas.
bad ideas, and we hear it every day, you know what I mean? Oh, King, I want to talk a little bit about this because the wave has started. Reparation wave is starting. We finally got some individuals who are really pushing the narrative. Yes, we have actually got people pushing up. It's coming across. They started over in the West Coast, and they trying to come across and get everybody on board with it. But there's still some folks in this side that say, I don't want no money. What?
It's not that, Ty. I keep trying to tell you.
I don't
that
want no money.
What they're doing, the reparations is not like how you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, the
yeah.
payment is not going out the way that you think it is.
Well,
and the way that they're going to structure it, I'm trying to tell you,
Well,
you're going to lose. Because you have, first of all,
Yeah.
you can't quantify who's who anymore.
I get that, but I'm just saying that the talk
No, I
is
get the
on the
talk is
table.
going on.
And that's
but
all I'm concerned about.
I
The
get
talk.
that the talk is going on,
You
but
know,
it's not
a lot
going
of money,
nowhere.
yeah.
See, this is what I mean by placating people.
Yeah.
You know, because you like the fact that the talk is just talk.
talk
If there
is
was
stuff.
some meat behind it, then I could understand.
Right.
But I realize that this is just to soothe the savage beast that's within us that want to come out. So I got to
Right.
tell you something to calm you
Calm
down.
you down, hopefully. Okay,
know?
I get you. I get
So
you, King.
I mean, we have to stop that. This is why we're in the troubles that we're in as a nation of people, because we're so easily swayed by words,
Yeah.
but then we go
Yeah.
to cut each other's throat every chance we
Give
get.
me the money and I'll issue it out to you.
No, you.
King, I tell you, King, I wanted to talk about a little bit of sports real fast. We'll talk about your boy real fast, Lamar, our boy. You know what I mean? Finally, he realized that Lamar Jackson. He finally realizes that this is his home right now as far as football.
Listen, for $189 million or $185
Yeah.
million, Baltimore anywhere
And
be my home.
I'm not having super expectations like people I know always say, well, yeah, he a Super Bowl now. I'm saying, yeah, I'm always going to say Super Bowl every year for our team. But I just need to see a full season of Lamar Jackson.
Thank you.
So everybody can tell me everything you want to tell me. You can say anything you want to say. We
Thank
just
you.
need to see one full season of Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
So, yeah, we can talk numbers and everything, King, but I just wanted to bring that out because I know you were talking about that when we were debating about should he get that amount and everything.
He bought the bus.
Huh?
He bought the bus.
Yeah, I know. But
We said it.
he called the contract in a certain sense about how many years, and he gave you gave a blueprint on it, King, and it's almost met it in a sense. They almost met what you kind of said.
Well, the only thing that I'm upset with Lamar about is I don't like the 5 years.
I thought you
Because
said 5 years
no,
on that last
I
year. You
said 3 years, 4-year option. And they
in
can
the
pick up.
fifth year.
No, 4 years.
Okay.
The fourth year was the option. And I said the reason why is because it gives him a chance to go back to get another bite at $100 million if, you know.
If successful for a whole full season, like Gene said, right?
Well, he don't have to be successful. It could be management that, you know, do something and, you know, don't bring in the right players or whatever. I'm just saying that, you know, it gives him an opportunity. But again, it's 5 years. You know, it works for Baltimore. It works for him.
Yeah.
So, you know, right now that's a happy
Well, it sounds,
marriage.
the nucleus sound, the nucleus that they got going sounds great. As long as we, Gene,
Yeah.
can do what? Get one,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
season.
I mean, the only reason why I push back on that is because I'm sure he's played, 5 years now in Baltimore?
yeah.
And you telling me in the whole 5 years he's never played the whole year?
Well, we want one good now. We want one good now.
all right,
We want
that's
one
fair.
good now.
That's fair.
All right,
That's fair.
go O's, too. I'm calling for the Orioles right now, guys, Baltimoreans that are listening. I'm calling for World
Everyone's
Series
doing
this
that
year.
thing, man.
I'm calling for World Series. I've called 2 years ago, last year. This is the year.
They're not going World Series.
They going
man.
World Series, King. They going World Series this year.
Astros, bro.
They going World
Let's
Series,
knock it
King.
off. They come up against the Stros, yo. They not making it.
King, I say,
Listen.
man, thanks, man. We sit here, we talk about a little bit of everything, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
We are. I said,
you know
we're
what
not
I
just
won't
a
get
regional
into.
show now, right?
No, we not. You know what I won't get into.
You know what I mean?
Right.
King got some things he want to talk about the young lady. We're going to get into that in a moment about, what's the young lady name, King?
Ebony Williams.
Ebony Williams says some crazy stuff, that only fits her narrative. It don't fit normal women narrative. That's only her narrative. That's the way I look at that, King. I'm going to let you throw it in a minute, King.
Okay.
But, King, I'm going to go ahead and get my public service announcement out, Gene, real fast. It's time for the public service announcement, King.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to say again, King, on the way here, I just left the drive-through car wash. I'm on the coming up. I'm on coming up, and the guy comes up. What? I say, man, I just came out the goddamn car wash.
Well, Ty, I washed my car. Same thing.
Yeah, I say, no, dog, don't you put that damn thing on my car. I came through the car wash.
I'm looking at him like, dog,
Right.
you don't see my car is shining?
And it's hot.
And it's hot.
All right, so
Put
to
that
all
pretty
patrons
going on my
coming into
windshield.
Maryland through any parts of it, beware of the wild squeegee crossings. If you come upon them, don't give them any money. I seen a guy giving money out the window.
Well,
I seen a guy giving money out the window.
Well, whatever happens, happens.
Okay, if you come to Maryland, if you run up against a king and things get ugly, proceed through the light with caution.
Yeah.
But if you do what that guy did today, and if something would have happened to him, King, guess what I would have did? I would have put my car in reverse and rolled right around, act like I ain't see what happened to him for doing something stupid.
I ain't see nothing.
Pulling your window down to a stranger in these days and time.
You're asking for trouble.
You're asking for possible trouble. That is our weekly wild squeegee crossing announcement, King. King, go and give me a brief something we wanted you to talk about this young lady real fast.
All right, so it's the hot topic that's going around. Miss Ebony Williams came out and said that she wouldn't date a bus driver. Her exact words was, if he owned the bus thing, man. He's like, but I'm not gonna date an average man. We need to strive to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we need to strive to be the best version of ourselves. And again, I'm paraphrasing. Basically, just to hear something like that or to hear pushback would be, in her opinion, considered racist.
Huh?
What?
She turned that into racism?
It turned into racism.
How?
Now,
Go ahead, King.
Now, this topic here it got underneath my skin because here is another prominent black, educated, successful PhD behind the name person who is disparaging people who make a living taking care of their families.
What about disparaging black people?
Black people.
Because she's a black woman, right?
Well, the most disheartening part is her mother is a bus driver.
Oh, God.
So it screams of, I have hidden issues with my mother and the profession and the fact that my father probably wasn't there. Again, allegedly, don't know.
Yeah.
But this vitriol that you came out with, that you was talking with, just blew me away because all I keep hearing from all these women, these modern day women, I want a man who has 6 figures or better. I need bags, I need trips, I need to eat at the most expensive places, I need to be taken care of, you need to give me an allowance. I hear everything under the sun about what it is they want. And when you ask them a question like, what do you bring to the table? They tell you that they are the table and that, that they are the table and that, look at me, I'm beautiful. And the pum-pum. Because I got a pum-pum.
Yep, a good one.
And this is the reason that they believe that they earned this. And you see, with Ebony Williams, a prominent person that's at that level, speaks just like them. So you women, I'm getting to another point, but I want you women to understand, when you say men are not approaching you or bad or they're not the right man is approaching you, I want you to understand that you all are standing so close to these chicks that are no good that we can't tell the difference of who is who. And when we ask you a question or you open your mouth and you come out and you say something like, I don't date average men, and I'm looking at you and you are you're barely average yourself. You are equating everything into dollars and cents, and there is none of y'all who are putting anything into L-O-V-E, love. And that's why you're not finding the proper mate. That's why you're going through what you're going through. That's why, in essence, you have become a whore. Because you are selling yourself at a price for materialistic things with no love attached to it.
But hold up, King. Now, it seems like this young lady is speaking in an avenue that she wouldn't even be a part of. She sounds like she's successful, she's rich. She actually talking in an avenue that she can't really, she's not even going to dabble in.
Well, here's
she's
the
not
thing.
Gonna even,
she's an influencer.
Yeah, so that's what that sounds like. That's what that sounds like. That's what that sounds like, yeah.
I hear no love coming from her.
Well, we don't hear that never.
Okay?
In society, we don't hear that part too much anyway, King.
All you hear is, you like what you like. That's retarded. Because you brought children or people into the world that you're not taking care of. Because the same person whom you split from, those children exhibit those same characteristics that you didn't like in that person, whether it be male or female. And now you have to raise that and you really don't like it. So this is why you've turned all these people over to us to raise.
King, remember I told you about the young lady, Sunshine. I don't know if you listening, Sunshine.
I remember.
But Sunshine, was telling me the other day about some situations like, some situation of a young lady that was going to have a baby. She don't need the baby. You're not even with the first kid's father. You're not even with the second kid's father. And you're going to do the same thing all over again. What are the expectations?
Well, I'm going to tell you what
No, there can't be. I mean, it's raising children in an unhealthy environment.
No, Todd, the expectation is I'm going to get this knight in shining armor. He's going to come and he's going to whisk me off and we're going to live the love and hip-hop life.
Well, no, that's far-fetched thinking, King. I say, King.
Well, Todd, no, I'm going to get me a rapper.
We got a caller coming in, King.
We got a rapper. He's going to sweep me off my feet and we're going to live the love and hip-hop Baltimore life.
What's up, Charles, man? What's going on, man? Something on your mind or something you want to share with us, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I got to ask you, brother, do we have a plan yet?
Go ahead, brother Charles. Keep going.
Yeah, because we banging them with it.
Keep going.
Yeah. Well, it seems like y'all don't have a plan, which means that y'all are failing just like everybody else.
No, Charles. Okay. I see where you're going with this. Go ahead and stop. No, let me stop him right there before he get any farther. Stop saying that we don't have a plan. You're talking about me and Tyrone, or you're talking about us in general. See, part of the problem with people who have the mentality that you exhibit, you constantly say that we don't. But what we're doing is part of a plan. It's called bringing awareness. Now, if those people don't want to listen and those people don't want to do their part or help, then there's nothing much more we can do. Again, I can't crack your head and pour the knowledge in it. I can only bring it to you. What you do with it is on you. Everybody have their own free will. It is that type of mentality that is holding us back, because instead of you calling in with a plan to put out there, instead you're calling to ridicule us and say that we don't have a plan.
Go ahead,
we're
implementing
our plan currently right now when we're telling you what we see going on and what needs to be changed.
Go ahead, Brother Charles.
Yeah, I definitely understand what Kingsley is saying.
Go ahead.
But what I'm talking about is, yes, our national plan. How do we get out of this? We have been highlighting this for years, for centuries, and nothing has come of it. So we must come up with a plan, with a start date, with an end date, with a a goal in mind, and I don't hear that. I mean, when it comes to enlightening people, that's why we come on the radio, but we're not allowed to actually speak our piece.
Well, no, hey man, on this show, as long as you keeping it clean, speak your piece.
This show is not the radio. This show is this show, and I'm talking about the radio in general.
Yeah.
You know, we come on the radio for the same reasons, because we're looking for a plan. We want to make things better. We don't want to keep complaining. We want to start working towards getting things, corrected.
Gotcha.
I don't see any of that happening. All I see is, who is your representative? What representative are you going to vote for? And just giving away your own power.
So, Brother Charles, can I ask you a question? You consistently always say we giving away our power. We giving away our power. But if we have elected officials in office, our power has to go through them. We just can't go we can go downtown and protest and stuff like that, but we're talking about power. Go ahead.
You said our power has to go through them. What factually supports that idea?
Well, if they are leaders, if he's a leader of District 5 or the mayor or something of the town.
You keep saying if, and I'm talking about what factually supports your idea. You keep saying if, and if it's not factual, that's a gray area.
Okay.
So I need to know, yes, this is supporting, or no, this is not supporting.
Okay.
I need to know the facts.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Charles, man. You know we always appreciate you, man. Always, man. Thank you. You make us think, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, King. Hey, King, I like your rebuttal, though. Good rebuttal, King. I say, man, here at WFBR, man, this is what we talk about. You see what we talking about? It's called conversational time. Whereas though everybody has an opinion or opinion to it, you know what I mean? But what we try to do is what we say, meet in the middle, King, and find a common ground. You got another comment from DC, King?
I got another comment. Vita sent us another one. She's listening attentively. She said, women who put the bag on their vagina equals bad decisions, body count up, bat wings and roast beef vaginas, and now you are cold and miserable. Oh, and multiple baby daddies.
That's a young lady?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Again, I say, this is just reality, man. A lot of times we've been playing this technological game since for the last 15, 20 years. This technology game we've been playing has opened up a lust door for us, whereas though, common decency is pretty much technology opened up that door.
I get that, but a lot of them is, a lot of these younger women are being misled by older women.
I get that too, King. I get that too.
They've been misled by women who've had failed relationships. They're either lesbians and or feminists.
King, let me talk about that real fast. I'm glad you brought up something there, King. Go ahead, King, real fast. Go ahead, real fast.
The constant message of you don't need a man. That trio is pumping that into these young women's heads. Again, and that's why I was so upset with this whole Ebony issue, and I'm going to deal with Charles after you finish what you
King, I say again, I only heard one. Jean said she was outraged too, but my mommy said they were outraged. When we talked about in the last 4 years that 2 men won Woman of the Year. Well, over 15 states coming across besides the East Coast. The East Coast has a real problem with this problem about saying yes and no to some things. Well, over in the Midwest, they saying no more will a man who changed himself go against a young woman in sports anymore. Again, I say the young woman almost got killed from a volleyball shot from a man. You seen it, right?
Yeah, I seen it.
She almost got killed.
He broke her face.
Then the other girl was the champion. This is a young white woman. She's a champion. Running and winning. He left his sport when he was a guy. Couldn't win.
Identified.
Couldn't win at all, Gene. Now he breaking all the records in the female thing. And so they went and got a black transgender person who's is a woman.
Asshole.
Did you see him on the bleachers?
Yes.
He said, well, look at this picture. I'm just saying, there's all different type of body types. They're all men dressed up. Still, I don't care what body type you got. I don't care if they got sex change. Again, here at the Tyrone Hour, we are not homophobic.
No transphobic.
Or transphobic. We're just speaking common sense. Won't you get your own league?
Well,
won't you get your own league?
Well, because they did.
Then you can start all new records.
Well, why would they do that when the whole goal
is to mess something up?
Allegedly, the whole goal is to erase women.
Thank you. And again, I say, King, I'm sorry to cut you off. Again, I asked. I do not hear an outrage from our women in America. I'm just really upset that they are not outraged that a man has won your award. All the white, black, Asian, Caribbean, Creole, Oriental, all these are Americans. Women. I'm on your side, women. I'm telling you.
Well, they're not on your side.
Sometimes, but King, I don't need them really. They're going to come eventually. Once you take over, they join in.
Yeah, we know that.
You get me? That's what society has proven throughout history.
Yeah, to the
all I gotta do is overthrow you, and eventually, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna give kids to me too. Mm-hmm. Hey, it is what it is. That's the nature of life, man.
Yeah. And that what Chanel did in World War
King, man.
with the Nazis.
I say, King. We had a great show, King. I think we had open some eyes up, King. Open some eyes up, man.
But let me address. Go
real fast, King.
Because, Charles brings a point, and normally I don't go at Charles like that because a lot of the points that he's made, once I've gone back and researched, they've turned out to be factual.
Yeah.
Again, doing some ancestry research on my own, I found out that we weren't descendants of slaves. So it doesn't apply to all black people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But as far as a plan. No, he's right. But, we have to get the right person. It almost have to be somebody that's homegrown that we develop and we push him out there.
Ain't that what I'm saying to him when I said that regardless of what he talking about, Power King, but if we have elected leaders, we still have to go through somebody else if they are elected leaders.
Well, I get it. So the point is to find our own leader, and who have our values and views, and like he said, set a
find
time.
Our own leader. God damn.
Well, we have to. I don't claim these people, man.
That's what I'm trying to do. What you saying?
I don't claim these people can't lead me no place.
Trying to find our leaders.
Listen. I'm gonna put it out there. Yesterday, I found out that Brandon Scott Almeida got slapped up at the daggone voting booth, and if I didn't have respect for him before, God knows me. I don't like that. I don't like
remember that situation when he was first running? He was first running for office, and he said something to somebody in the crowd, and dude slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah, he said something about Sheila Dixon, and he ain't like it.
Somebody, when he was running for office.
Slapped him down.
Yeah, when he was running for office.
And what did he do? Exactly, nothing. Charles is right. We have to find somebody that understands what we want, that understands our values, and like he said, give them a timeline. Listen, if we starting on this day, we expecting a result.
Is that back to our topic of the show?
Expectations.
Yes. Go.
So again, I mean, you guys might have heard this back and forth with me and Charles, but that's only because Charles like to dig at us sometimes.
Yeah, man,
I didn't feel like going with him.
I just let him go on off, man. And let him do what he do. I don't even get into that back and forth stuff about you don't have a plan. It's like you wording it direct. And I'm glad you said it to him that way. It's like you're saying, oh, you two guys don't have a plan.
And I'm like,
that's not what we on this show about, Brother Charles sitting here,
But here's the thing. Man. As I said, we actually do have a plan.
Yes, we did.
Because the Tyrone show is to do what? Bring back what?
Awareness, class, dignity,
respect, awareness,
powers, accountability, responsibility.
This is when we bring these things out, we're hoping that it reaches a person
resonates
who is in
our community.
That came up in our era, that see what's going on in their household and be like, man, come on now, knock it off.
King,
you know better.
Yeah, King, I said a couple shows again, but I haven't got this together yet. I want to do a recovery story on men and women in Baltimore City who used to be ex-drug dealers, ex-addicts, and I want to bring and prove to society, that to people, that you do not need substances to change your life or to stop using another substance. I mean, King, it's multiple men that we're going to bring, and we're going to try to have men and women come out here or call in the next week, because I talked to the brothers about this. I said, I'm looking in the bar, I'm looking at where we go at, I'm looking at the guys that we talk to. We are all success stories in our communities. Where they keep saying there's no success story. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are all success stories from where we come from. From after being plotting and planned against, I guess, what we try to say, the white man or society was out to get us with so many drugs or things like that. But guess what happened? We recovered and had expectations for ourselves after that. King, go ahead real fast, King. We got about a minute or so.
I just want to bring this up so that we understand. Biden and Harris has decided to run again.
Oh, God.
And our governor has been selected to help them promote pro-abortion, pro-gun control, and pro-LGBTQ agendas.
Before crime. No crime bills got signed. You know that, King?
Before crime.
No crime.
Before education.
Much as crime is going on in education.
I just want to say
he
this.
signed none of those bills, King.
None.
They talked about that. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. Dan Cox came to that town hall meeting about education.
And crime.
Education was his paramount issue that he was running on. And close second to that was crime. And he got pushed aside as a Trump
racist white man. A racist white guy. Bottom line.
A Trump
Again,
and we
have
a black governor who has no interest in fighting crime, no interest in improving education, just throwing money at it, because the money doesn't go to where it needs to. It goes to other people's pockets who they have nepotism and favoritism with, like Sandalista,
King,
Doctor.
Donations are welcome, guys. Again, I say, man, here at the Tyrone Hour, we strive to make sure that we get the show rolling and best as possible to keep our things going with the account and everything, man. But donations are welcome. Again, I say, the narrative, I still haven't heard Gene tell me anything about, speaking to Kathy Hughes, about this Shop Black on Tuesday, when black people don't have no money on Tuesday. Their money usually come in on Thursday or Friday. You usually see a lot of black people down Election Market every day, but on Friday and Saturday, that's when blacks are spending their money. You telling me to spend it on Tuesday. Guess who the only blacks that got money on Tuesday, King? Those elite folks you talking about.
Oh, wow.
Those elite folks, they got money. That's why you see them at Starbucks every day. Yeah, line. Yeah, you see us, me and you, we got to run in the cafeteria and get a shot of black coffee real fast, because I can't afford a shot of espresso every day. So you get what I'm trying to say, King? Thank you, man. Thank you, man. And all the people that are listening, King, that you got in coming from D.C. or upper D.C. or upper Maryland, whatever, thank you guys.
I'm coming from D.C.
Thank you guys for listening and understanding that here at the Tyrone Hour, we trying to do exactly what need to be done. We are saying and telling you, you have a problem and you need to stop it.
Yeah, and what you do with what we tell you is on you.
That's right.
Accountability is yours.
That's right. Again, I say thank you, King. Thank you, Gene. Mommy. Again,
happy Mother's Day to all you
Mother's
ladies
Day to all the women. Gene, happy Mother's Day and all that stuff. And Mommy, again, I said, man, you hope you're listening. Folks really enjoy listening to you, man. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.